The year is 2023, and you're watching this story unfold in Italy. Our story begins with a young man who was born and raised in America but decided to move back to his parents' homeland of Italy to become a model. The young man's name is Gino, and he's only 19 years old, extremely handsome with an athletic build from all the years of playing basketball. At 6'4", he stands out amongst the rest of the models in Milan. But there's more to Gino than meets the eye. He's actually an undercover CIA agent who was sent back to Italy to take down one of the most ruthless mob bosses in the country, a man known only as Diablo. Gino had been training for this mission since he was 12 years old when his parents were killed by members of the Italian mafia. His entire life has been one big training montage ever since he entered the witness protection program, and now it's finally time for him to put all that training to use. He begins working with the most powerful modeling agency in Italy, run by the beautiful and mysterious Isabella Rossi. She owns half of Milan, and she's also a member of the Italian mafia. Unlike the other mob bosses, Isabella doesn't own territory. Her power comes from her ability to control all forms of media in the country. Every newspaper, magazine, TV station, website, social media account, you name it, Isabella probably owns it. She can make or break people with the snap of her fingers, which is why she's known as La Befana among her peers. La Befana is an old Italian legend who brings gifts to children on New Year's Eve. But if you were on Isabella's bad side, she would make your life a living hell, like the time she ruined a famous soccer player's career after he refused to pay her protection money, or when she destroyed a politician's reputation by releasing compromising photos of him to the public. Isabella is immediately intrigued by Gino the second she lays eyes on him. There's just something about his piercing blue eyes and charming good looks that she can't get enough of. It's obvious to everyone around them that sparks are flying between the two of them, but they both try to ignore it because the last thing Isabella needs is to fall for a rookie model with a wandering eye. Plus, Gino's mission is only temporary. In a few months, he'll be heading back to America, which is why he can't risk getting distracted by a beautiful woman. But fate has a funny way of working things out, because soon after Gino moves into his fancy apartment, he runs into Isabella at the grocery store. They lock eyes and instantly begin flirting. Before long, they're sharing intimate moments in dark alleys. But it's all just part of Isabella's plan to infiltrate Gino's mind. She knows that the CIA has sent a new agent to take down her cousin's brother, Diablo, but she doesn't know who it is or where they're hiding. Everyone in the family has been tight-lipped about it, but Isabella isn't one to sit around and wait. She's taken matters into her own hands and began watching everyone in the family closely. She knew that whoever the CIA had sent would have to prove themselves worthy of taking down Diablo. And what better way to do that than to seduce the most eligible bachelor in Italy? Of course, Isabella doesn't actually love Gino. She's just using him to gather intel on the new agent. She knows that once she finds out who he is, she'll be able to manipulate him into doing what she wants. But Isabella never expected to actually fall for Gino. His charm and charisma are disarming, and before she knows it, she's head over heels in love with him. Meanwhile, Gino is also falling for Isabella, but he's struggling with his feelings. He knows that he's only in Italy temporarily, and that he could get hurt if Isabella finds out who he really is. But how could he resist her advances when she's literally throwing herself at him? Now, while all this romantic tension is building, we need to talk about the main antagonist of our story, Diablo. Unlike Isabella, Diablo is a traditional mob boss. He controls territory and demands respect from everyone around him. If you cross him, you and your family will be made an offer you can't refuse. That's why no one dares go against him, even though they all hate his guts. Diablo is always impeccably dressed in expensive suits, and he drives around in luxury cars. He owns the best restaurants and casinos in town, and he throws lavish parties every weekend. But behind the charismatic exterior, Diablo is a ruthless killer who will stop at nothing to protect his empire. He's responsible for the death of Gino's parents, and he's been on the FBI's most wanted list for years. That's why the CIA has sent their best agent to take him down. As the story progresses, Gino becomes more and more involved with Isabella and her family. He starts attending their events and meeting their associates. All the while, he's looking for an opportunity to take down Diablo. But Diablo is always one step ahead of him. Just when Gino thinks he has him cornered, Diablo disappears without a trace. One night, Gino attends one of Isabella's parties, not knowing that it's a trap set by Diablo. He gets drunk and ends up making a huge mistake. He passes out in front of everyone, leaving them no choice but to call the police. When the cops arrive, they find Gino with a bag of white powder on his pocket. It's obviously a setup, and Gino knows it. He's arrested and thrown into a cell, but he's not worried. He knows that the CIA has contingency plans in place for just such an event. And sure enough, within hours, he's whisked away from the prison in a black SUV and brought to a safe house. He's furious at himself for letting Diablo get the best of him. He knows that he messed up, but he's determined to make a comeback. With the help of his CIA handlers, Gino comes up with a new plan. He's going to infiltrate Diablo's inner circle and get close enough to him to make the final move. But he needs Isabella's help to do it. He pays her a visit at her mansion and asks for her assistance. To his surprise, she agrees, but only because she's in love with him. Now that Isabella is on board, Gino's mission is back on track. He throws himself into his work, training and preparing for the inevitable showdown with Diablo. He knows that there's no turning back now. He's in too deep. Meanwhile, Diablo is also preparing for the final battle. He knows that the CIA has sent someone after him, but he doesn't know who it is or where they're hiding. But he doesn't need to know who his enemy is to defeat him. He's defeated countless enemies before, and he'll do it again. So here's the deal. As much as I love writing these action-packed stories, I can't continue this one unless we reach a very important milestone. I want to know how badly you want this story to continue. So here's what I need you to do. Go down right now and smash that subscribe button. If I see 500 new subscribers by the end of the day, I'll continue the story tomorrow. Deal? Deal. Okay, then let's finish this thing. The final battle between Gino and Diablo is epic. They fight tooth and nail, but in the end, Gino comes out on top. He takes Diablo down and becomes the new boss of the Italian mafia. Isabella is by his side the whole time, offering her support and love. They rule the Italian underworld together for many years. But as time goes on, Gino begins to feel the weight of his responsibilities. He misses his old life as a model, where he didn't have to worry about anything more than the next photo shoot. He decides to step down as boss and retire to a life of luxury with Isabella. They spend their days lounging by the pool and their nights partying in the hottest clubs in Milan. As for the other characters, well, that's for you to decide. What do you think happened to them? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so I can continue this story. Until next time.